What's up, everyone? I'm Dimebot. I am excited because Flight Sim 2024 finally has a release date, November 19th, for Xbox Game Pass and Steam. We're seeing a trailer here in the background, in-game footage they're saying, and immediately you'll notice that the ground has a whole lot more detail than in the current sim. There's a couple things I want you guys to note as we go through this trailer, and we're going to be scrubbing back and forth a little bit. Note the ground detail, note the number of times they show a third-person avatar walking around, and also note the number of activities and jobs, because that seems to be the main thrust of what they're going for with 2024. 2020 was about flying, and the whole world was there in the sim. 2024 seems to be pushing us towards more activities, more very task-oriented, very specific things, rather than just flying around. Even down to the fact that, yeah, you could fly an airliner in 2020 and you could sit there and pretend to have passengers load, but they're actually showing it now. Here we see this air ambulance. And there's one of those airplanes I hate when I see them at the beach, but I'm actually kind of interested in flying aerial advertising. This is going to be the VIP charter service, so already a wide array of jobs, and Microsoft really starts speeding them up here at the end. Just bam, 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 bam. There's going to be a lot of them really, really quickly. These are very interesting, and we're seeing a lot of detail here, especially like this water that really wasn't in the sim before. A lot of NPCs and characters around that really were not in the sim, and I think that's going to be kind of crucial to what they're going for here with things like this aerial firefighting and these charter jobs. You'll also notice that they show right here somebody walking around with a camera, and there's a deer. And we want to freeze frame there, I think, for a second, because there's actually a fairly impressive amount of detail there for, you know, just a shot of a deer randomly, well, maybe not so randomly, out in the world. Also begs the question, are we walking around as a character we make, or is this just like a floating camera thing here? Also notice the mud splatter on the tires of the plane in that shot. Here we are in a blimp over Paris, pointing at things, because Parisians are going to love that. So a lot of things that they show us, especially these blimps, towing gliders, but there's a lot of other questions here. You see this military circuits, and it looks like racing is going to be back, maybe a big part of the game, also different colored foliage. I'm still not sure about the hot air balloon thing, but they seem to like to close with this one. And right here, the Aurora Borealis. Now, this is something that they wanted to add to 2020, but they wanted to properly simulate it. And so, if they've actually added it to 2024, that means they've done actually a lot more work. But let's go back here and talk about, say, this pilot that is walking. Now, I don't think we're going to get to walk around in the game. I just don't. I don't know that it's going to fit. Maybe I am wrong. It would be interesting if I'm wrong, but these shots are certainly encouraging us to get into the action and showing a lot of detail up close. And with some of these jobs, like this air ambulance, or with the racing and things like that, where they're showing us really, really close to the ground, you have to have a lot more detail than the current sim can generate. The current sim, things are kind of just flat satellite textures, whereas in a couple shots in this, we actually see real rocks by the riverside. We see real standing grass and flowers. There's a lot more detail here, and I think this is going to be part of their push. You'll note at the very beginning of the trailer, they did say that this was being powered by Azure AI and satellite data, so that will be interesting. Maybe a lot of emphasis on AI generation in this game. Hopefully they get it right, because I've seen some really horrendously weird things come from AI. But it's a fascinating look that doesn't actually answer a lot of questions. It just shows us snippets of gameplay. There's no real vertical slice for us to hone in on here. So I will be very interested as we get closer to release to see exactly what they're doing. Are we going to be walking around, or are these merely cutscenes leading up to certain things? How deep are these jobs going to go? What is up with the blimp by Christ the Redeemer? Just a lot of unanswered questions that I can't wait for Microsoft and Asobo to dig into. The sim looks much better in 2024 as opposed to 2020, so that is already a positive, but I really want to know exactly what they're doing here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and if you are here to the end, thank you for helping feed the algorithm. My name is Dimebot, and I will see you guys next time.